Warm welcome back to MDI, everybody. And today I am playing with some silver. Now I've had an idea, as well as using the moulds, to use this stuff. Now this is casting sand, which people use for jewellery making. I bring that up. Can you see that? Petrobond oil bonded casting sand. So I'm using this. I'm using an old saucepan, and I've took an impression of a ring that Mrs. Movie Do has got. So just to roughly get the size. Now I'm going to try and melt a little bit of silver. I've got about 5 grams there of beautiful pure silver that I moulded earlier on, a couple of months ago I think. I've also got a ring of Mrs. Movie Do's that's damaged and cracked there. I don't know how I'm going to get on, but what I'm going to today do is, when I've got the silver melted in the crucible, I'm going to try and dip this ring in there to see if it'll heal it. I've no idea, I'm playing. So we'll have a go, but I'm going to melt this, and then the silver, I'm going to see if it'll melt down into a nice ring. No idea if the pour's going to work. And I'm wondering, will 5 grams be enough? I'm not sure, that might be a little skinny, so I might actually melt more silver and I can pour the rest down into the mould there, so for future smelting. I've got a piece of silver here that's about 20 grams. That's less pure, that's melted down from 925 silver. So let's have a go at melting that. So I've got some borax in there already, the crucible. I'll just drop that. Just to coat the crucible. I've got that ready, and I've also grooved out the edge of this crucible. I don't know if you can see, just to try and give me a finer pouring point. I don't know if that's actually going to work, but it's all trial and error at the moment. So I'm going to get going anyway and get this borax melted out. So I'll get the borax melted out. I'll chuck the silver in, and we'll get it to a nice bubbly pour. I wonder if I'll be able to come and show you. Get that borax to melt down, coats the crucible nicely, and it stops your precious metals from sticking. Fizzing away nicely, so I'm going to throw in my silver now, and here we go. Now silver has got a lower melting point than gold, so it won't take as long to smelt down. Already starting to see some magic happening. That's quite a chunk of silver as well as it goes. Well, I hope I find you all well today. I hope you're all out prospecting, finding the treasures. No sluicing this weekend. So there we go. A little bit sticky, but I've got the silver now to... I wonder if I can actually show you this. I'm not going to be able to show you. Look. You can see the silver melting and moving around in the crucible. But I really didn't do a very good job of showing you that, sorry. Get back over here. Doesn't take long, it's swirling around now like a, like a quite a loose liquid. I've smelt down some of them impurities out of it. That's the 5 grams I'm not using. Now I had Mrs. Movie Doo's supposed silver ring. So what I'm going to do is, I've got that down to a nice melted liquid now. With my heat resistant tong, I can just pick it up right. I'm going to see if I can dip it and repair. I don't know if it's going to work. What it did do is melt some of the ring off. So no, now that material is just broken and falling away. So no, that didn't work. Some of that ring has now absorbed into there. Probably quite obvious really. I've got the silver pooling around quite nicely in there now. Get the spout pot. So I've made a ring impression now. I'll put that back in there a second. Keep the heat on and move this out of the way, because I'll melt it. So I've got some swirly silver going on in there now. You can see the impurities on top. Give it another minute or so. Give my hand a rest before I pour. Now if I'm right in my understanding, you can see the impurities and they'll be swirling around on top of the molten silver. Much of the borax now should have burnt off and welded itself to the crucible. That's it. Let's have a go then. So, the mould is right there. It's pourable. But can I get the angle? I certainly missed there. Yeah, well that didn't work at all. Got glassy material now, and it looks like that casting sand is smoking. I'm going to put that there, put the fire out. I wonder if that's, yeah, I can show you that. So that pour didn't work at all. Maybe I didn't burn it for long enough. But I'll show you the result. So I basically just turned that into a nasty lump. You see that there? There's the ring shape, but it didn't fill round the ring, and I've over poured. Interesting colours. So I shall get that metal, get the silver back out of there, and we will think again. Interesting to play. So there, I think that's. Look at the colours in there. Interesting colours. If I can just wash that off and show you as it goes. Quite a strange old object there, I'm going to show you. It looks quite golden. Some of the metals in there, copper, and then I think that's the borax. It's like a, I don't know, glassy top. There's another little bead there. I'll lift that out of the way. Very interesting. It's made like a... I'm going to bring it over and show you. Wash some of this sand off. It's certainly interesting to play with. Look at that. The ring mould failed. And it's cast this golden silvery bit of a mess on that side. Maybe that was too much borax or too much impurity in the silver. Maybe I need to heat it for longer to burn off some of them impurities. But interesting nonetheless. So there you go. That was a fail, but we will adapt, learn and try again. This is Moobidoo, Gold and Treasure Prospecting, signing off.